behind the veil.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 p.m. and live from Philadelphia. Hello, everybody. It's Monday night. You know what that means. It's Behind the Veil on WTBR Radio. And the Mikey and the Mad Dog Show present a good one tonight. Mikey, how the heck are you? I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, my friend.
Well, I'm doing good. I know you had a nice vacation, Angelo. I've just started a working vacation. I'm up here in Rhode Island, going to do some film work this week in Connecticut, so I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to another lively show with you tonight.
Terrific. I'm going to tell our audience, Mikey is filming this week at an undisclosed location somewhere in the great state of Connecticut. It's all hush-hush. It's kind of a big secret. I don't even know a lot of it. So, because Mikey's like, he's kayfabing me on this whole movie stuff.
Well,
I'm sure you're going to do well with it. Now, I'm going to just ask you this. Is it a comedy, this film, or is it more dramatic?
No, it's more dramatic. If you think about things like the Skull and Bones groups and stuff like that, that kind of throws the ball in the court of what this movie's about, like that type of secret society stuff.
Oh, I got news for you. That's the kind of stuff we love around here, man.
Guess what the role is I'm playing, Angelo. Guess what I'm playing in the movie.
You either play. See, you're a great actor, so you have to play something important, like either you're a world leader or you're a cult leader.
Well, something in between, a podcaster.
Oh, you're
right in the middle.
Talk about typecasting.
Yeah.
Hot damn, brother.
Yeah.
A podcaster. You got it. I'll tell you what. We have an interesting show tonight, Mikey.
Yes.
We've been inundated for the last 6-7 months. You want to talk a little bit off camera about this? We get continued requests from our audience, and we have a great audience, and we're grateful to have them, and we thank you. Mikey and I thank you for that, for making Mikey and the Mad Dog a hit, and is a hit for sure, and I got the numbers to prove it. But Mikey and the Mad Dog, we are a diversified crew here. We do a lot of stuff, but the audience that we serve, and we serve our audience, we do what they want us to do. They've been asking for this cloning / replacement / look-alike genre,
right,
for almost 7 months now, which is like bizarre to think about it. But that's where, I guess, Mike, if you think about it, that's where we are in the world. You know, everything's an illusion,
right?
If you really kind of like, you know, listen to what's going on around us, you can believe very little of what you hear, almost nothing of what you see, because artificial intelligence, AI, is very, very good at manipulating reality.
There was I mean, I think you're right, these type of thoughts are percolating more than ever. But I remember back in the 90s, Angelo, you're a cinephile as well, and I believe the movie was titled Dave with Kevin Kline, and it was about
one of my favorite movies, Mikey. I love it. Yeah. Tell everybody about it.
Kevin Kline played two roles. He played the president And then he played a guy who looked strikingly similar to the president of the United States. And I believe what happens in the movie is that the actual president passes away, and they have to replace the actual president with the guy that happens to look like him, including picking up with the first lady, who I'm going totally by memory, but I think was played by Sigourney Weaver. And I'm just going by memory on this one because it's been a long time since I've seen the movie Dave. But I think when you have, I had a friend who passed away. His name was Joe Jaffo, and Joe was always telling me about something he called predictive programming, which was when the authorities, the government, or whatever authorities in charge of things, releases films or TV shows or some type of, even a cartoon like The Simpsons, or some type of media that clues you in on something that is happening on a very serious level. And I cited the Simpsons cartoon because the Simpsons over and over again have had these instances where they've had stuff with Donald Trump becoming president, or the World Trade Center, or even when Bret Hart got attacked at the WWE Hall of Fame. They've had these little instances where the Simpsons in their animation drew something, and 5, 10, 15 years later, real life imitated art. So a thing like the movie Dave, you could call that predictive programming. You could call it just fun fiction. There's so many things with this, Angelo.
Yeah. Mikey, it's funny that you used The Simpsons as the example, because we actually had that show. We did an almost 3-hour show on, how the Simpsons are predicting the future. And we found out how they are predicting the future. It also ties into a game, and a card game and a board game called the Illuminati game, the New World Order, which both used. You're going to love this one. I'm not making a word of this up. The Simpsons actually have a psychic on staff.
Wow.
They have a psychic, they have a real life psychic on staff.
Interesting.
There's a guy named Stephen Jameson,
okay,
who created a game called Illuminati, the New World Order, where they predicted the 9/11, the World Trade Center. They predicted the Shanksville, Pennsylvania, the Pentagon, all that. They predicted all this stuff and that and more.
Right.
Interestingly, this guy is still alive, and he's into the occult and spiritual things of that nature, and believes very much in his psychic, who he says has not steered him wrong. So, I mean, you take it with a grain of salt, or throw yourself headstrong into it. There's something to it on some level.
Yes.
Tonight, we're going to do something along the lines of look-alike replacement / cloning, though I don't want to use the word cloning. We're going to call it repackaged, removed, and replaced. The controversy of global replacements. A number of people, and it started really, Mikey, this really began many, many decades ago, almost a century ago, where leadership, in order to satisfy both the hierarchy of that leadership and the citizenry, would replace unpopular leaders with popular personalities who happen to look like that particular leader.
Okay.
It's been done in the movie Dave, for example. Dave was not a popular president, but the Dave who came in as the president was extremely popular.
Right.
All in the personality. It's like they say, Mikey, it's all in the delivery.
Right.
All in the delivery. And for example, in Russia, there was, I'm sure you know the name Rasputin.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Rasputin was the spiritual leader of the Russian Tsar's family. He was the end-all, be-all of everything that they wanted to know and needed to know, and Rasputin was the guy who had the knowledge. So they say, until he no longer did. So what did they do? They killed Rasputin. Okay.
Yeah.
And he was replaced with an incredibly astute lookalike who happened to know nothing about cognitive spirit and didn't care and didn't want to know, but he looked the part. They fed him the information they wanted him to speak.
Right.
And he did a swimmingly magnificent job until he didn't, and he was killed. That was the end of Rasputin in history. Yeah. But, and the Tsar, we're talking about the Tsar Nicholas of Russia, whose beautiful wife, you know, I guess she's, you call them queen or whatever, duchess or whatever the hell they call them in Russia. But, you know, to the point where, you know, that they were able to pretty much control everything through this quirky lookalike who knew nothing about really not much about anything, to be honest with you.
Right.
But we are going to talk a little bit about, especially these days here, Mikey. In the news, of course, you know, Joe Biden, when he became president, was almost immediately people said there's something wrong here.
Right.
There's something wrong with Joe Biden. He was wearing a mask. He was an actor. His face changed. His face in a press conference, and you can check this out. His face during a press conference seemed to literally melt.
Wow.
Because it was the mask slipping from his face.
Wow.
The hot lights of the press conference made him sweaty, and the mask started. It's funniest stuff. Clearly, people knew at that point something's up with Joe Biden.
Right.
And they took that ball and they ran with it, and they ran hard, and they got answers. Anyway, you're going to see a couple pictures. In fact, you know what? We're talking about, let's talk about it now.
Let's go with the lead.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want you to meet the real Joe Biden.
Okay.
This is Joseph Robinette Biden.
Yeah.
He was the former senator of Delaware, congressman from Delaware, and he worked his way all the way up to vice president of the United States. And if you believe some, he became president of the United States. Well, he did, or this guy did. Okay. Now, if you look at these two fellas, and you could, you know, take a side by side here. There you go. You'd be hard pressed to say it's the same person. But wait a minute, Mikey. Let's throw a monkey wrench into the picture here.
Okay.
There you go. This gentleman's name is Robert Colby.
Okay.
And Robert Colby is an actor. He is a character actor, not really well known, but he's got one of those faces that could get by.
Right.
Is he good enough to do that? We know,
yeah,
for certain, we know that this is not him. But I could make the argument, Mikey, you being an actor might even be able to say, you know what, with a little makeup, maybe.
Well, the two photos of Biden, I'm not convinced aren't the same guy because it's a 14-year span of time. Is that right? Of the two ages?
Yep.
So, I mean, people age in different ways. I happen to be somebody that, with the exception of my hair, goatee, and mustache, my face has stayed very similar, and my body has stayed more or less similar for a long time with me. And but I know people, friends of mine, that have aged much differently, for better, for worse, for older. You know, everyone gets older. Let's put it that way. With the two Biden photos, I think what might cause me some inquiry or concern is the jawline. Not the actor, but the other one that's purported to be Biden. The jaw of the younger Biden, with the two flags in the background, his jaw looks more like a Joe Theismann football player type. And this Biden as president he looked like a smaller man. Now here's the thing. I know a lot of people, as they age, they get shorter because your spine compresses. Maybe you lose some weight as you get older. Your bones thin out a bit. The other thing is that Biden, I believe you told me that this picture is supposed to be 68 years old.
He was 68 years old. We know that for sure. The only thing I don't know, and maybe this is the thing, Mikey, that you might be onto something here. We don't know when this photo was taken, but we do know that he was 68 in the picture.
Okay.
That much we know for certain. What we don't know is what year this was taken. If it was taken prior to 2016, when Joe Biden's granddaughter, his legitimate granddaughter, says that he passed away.
When did she say that? In what context?
That he died. She said that the person that is president is not my grandfather.
But
my grandfather,
Did she say that on a...
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is right after she said that,
right,
she never said another word after that.
Well, what I'm asking is, did she say it on a talk show? Did she say it in a book? Where is she?
She said it to 4 reporters that were questioning Joe Biden's legitimacy.
Okay.
And she gave that quote to Alex Jones. She gave that quote to the Sun newspaper in England.
Right.
She gave it to a political paper called Mother Earth or some
Mother
something
Jones.
like Mother Jones. Thank you very much. And she gave another interview to The Onion, a political paper called The Onion. And I've checked them all, and they are all out there. All of these interviews are out there. Mother Jones, The Onion, Alex Jones, InfoWars, and of course the British Sun, or the London Daily Sun. It's called, and that's for sure. We know that for certain that she gave those interviews. What's interesting is she never uttered another word after that. She has been seen, but every time she's asked to give a comment, it's complete. It's like she becomes mute. It's that I guess she was either threatened or said, "Keep your mouth shut if you know what's good for you." Right. That sort of stuff.
Well, just as you were go ahead. As you were talking, though, I did a Google search and there's mixed response. This is supposed to be Naomi Biden.
Yeah.
And some sources claim that was a satire and that it's not even his real granddaughter. But of course, if it was, then there might be a cover up. So I don't really, this is really the first I've heard of it, but this, the video is disputed.
It is. And what gives me cause to believe that it's his actual granddaughter are 2 things. The fact that after she said what she said,
right,
she was still seen in public with family members, legitimate family members, among them Hunter Biden.
Right.
Okay. Who is her father.
Right.
Okay. Now we got to understand what we're talking about here. The other thing is she's got this, I don't know, man. She's got this credibility to me.
Okay.
That why would she say that knowing that there's a camera and a microphone in your face?
And just for the record, Hunter Biden would later receive a presidential pardon from his father. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my reason to bring that up, to play both sides of the fence here a little bit, is that if we can't automatically assume that these people in high office or high elected officials are necessarily, always the most integrity-based people, because, I think Biden was repeatedly saying that he would not, interfere with justice or would not give his son a pass. And then he did exactly that, give his son a pass. So for anyone,
exactly.
I'm just trying to provide devil's advocacy on both ways and Hello to our friend Trevon Amon Sanford, who says hello.
Yeah,
Angela.
let me tell you who he is, Mikey. He's a connection to your and I past with Jeff the Ref.
Oh, nice.
He was Trev was a friend of our late friend, our late co-host, Jeff the Ref Robinson. I called him the Encyclopedia Britannica of pro wrestling.
Right.
The only person I know that knows more about pro wrestling than Mikey Messier.
Yeah.
And that's doing something. But Trev, welcome, man. Welcome to the show. Stick around with us. You got any questions? Please ask. Jump in here, Mike. I want to do something. Let's take a look at some video. Why don't we do that? I think you'll find this, especially as an actor. I think you'll find this interesting because, I'm just going to let the whole thing play, and then you and I can talk after.
You're not the real Jim Carrey! The internet knows the truth! They know. They're asking questions. We need to do something now!
Relax. The real one is almost ready. The MK Ultra treatment is 98% complete.
Neural reprogramming complete. Subject is ready for deployment.
It worked.
Subject in position awaiting activation signal.
Where am I? How did I get here?
I had to stop because I had everything and I was absolutely broken inside. I don't want to see your bodies on Instagram. I want to see what's in here. I'm not trying to get validation, nor do I need it anymore. But if you are broken, you do not have to stay broken.
We may have evidence that he took her and replaced her with this woman. I want you to take a look at this and tell me if you see anything strange.
That kids' entertainment stuff made specifically for them, like even preschool shows, seem wildly imbalanced. Just recently, we found that we have reached parity in the female and male characters in both children's TV and movies made for kids.
Or we're in the car. Sometimes, like Who Says is one of the songs but I was 16, and that's more of a nostalgic feeling. But no.
That was Gina Davis, and people think she replaced Selena, but how is this happening? We've learned in the files that there is technology that literally can put one soul from one body and take it into another. We have heard this is their way of reincarnating, which is why many of these celebrities and politicians, you will see them look real similar throughout history in other bodies. Considering how different Selena not only looks, but how different she sounds, even her mannerisms, people are concerned, do we still have the real Selena or has she been gone for a long time? What do you guys...
They're not clones. It's worse than that. I'm talking about celebrity clones, but what if I told you it's not cloning? It's something the Bible warned us about 3,000 years ago. And you've seen it. Your favorite artist suddenly acts different, or your favorite actor, a different energy, different eyes, and people say they cloned them. But listen, cloning is the cover story for what's actually happening. The Canaanites practiced child sacrifice to Moloch, but it wasn't just killing. In Leviticus 18 and 21, they call it passing through the fire. They were performing soul transfer rituals, harvesting life force and putting entities into other bodies. That technology never died. It just went underground. When someone signs their life away to the industry, that's a covenant. It's a trauma-based programming, and it fractures the original soul. And rituals create the opening. The original person dies spiritually, and a prepared entity walks its way on in the same body but a different driver. And that's why they seem off. In Mark 5 and 9, it says legion, multiple entities in one body, familiar spirits. In Leviticus 19 and 31, it says demons that mimic the person they replaced. This isn't new. It's ancient Canaanite tech repackaged for entertainment industrial complex. It explains sudden personality changes, lost memories, and different mannerisms, and doing unspeakable things without remorse, because their conscious left, and what's operating now is something else entirely. They don't clone bodies, they steal them, and you're watching it happen in real time.
Now, this is how I know they're playing with us right in front of our face. Here's a picture of John Travolta, right? This is the real picture. This is how he looked when he showed up to Cannes. Right here. Right there. Okay? I need you guys to really think. Does that look like a 72-year-old? And no, it's not because of his genes. Now, I don't know if you guys remember. Maybe I'm on a different timeline, but a few years ago, they said that John Travolta passed away in a plane crash, right? Now, I went to go find that article, and they have this article up saying that he had a near-death experience in 92. It wasn't in 92. It was in the mid-2000s. So once again, here we are. John Travolta, right? John Travolta right here at 71 years old, looking like he's 30. That is a clone. And what gets me, they keep on doing this. They keep on cloning him. This is in 2018. This is this year. Look, you guys can't tell me this.
So the real question is, who was Taylor cloned from? Because this footage proves that Taylor Swift is a clone. Watch this.
Glamour Gals Collection. Dolls, party plays, fancy fireworks, the show place collector's case. Each sold separately. You can send in proofs of purchase from any 3 Glamour Gals dolls. Jessie, Danny, Lonnie, or Shara in any of 3 outfits. And get Jessie in fancy formal free. Details are on the specially marked packages. Offer expires on March 1st, 1982. Glamour Gals Collection. Jessie and beautiful bride. Other dolls and play sets sold separately. New.
Interesting
well,
stuff.
say you what to that, my friend?
Well, I think it's very interesting to play devil's advocate a little bit on both sides. Once again, the cynical side of me would say, "Hey, there's only so many genetical makeup possibilities. There's only so many facial structures." I myself have had people compare me to anyone from Dan Aykroyd to Jack Black to the late Chris Farley, etc. So, I mean, there's a tendency for people to say, hey, you look like this guy, or you look like this other famous person, or my friend, or whatever. Now, on the other side of things, for those that are watching on our YouTube channel and seeing some of those clips that, for instance, going back to the Soul Replacement, the movie Get Out, maybe 10 years ago, took on that topic. That was by Jordan Peele. That was his first big horror film. And that was kind of about basically white people of financial means exploiting black people to overtake their bodies. And once again, I go back to my friend who told me about the predictive programming stuff. Well, for those that would basically, say, well, this is all crazy and this is all hogwash and there's no possibility of this being true, I would say to you, how are you familiar with multiple personality disorder, where one person has several personalities? And you can find any number of documentaries or the film All About Eve about people with multiple personality disorder. I think it's on Netflix now, Angelo. I haven't watched it yet, but I believe there's a documentary about a two-headed boy, like a boy that was born with basically 2 operating heads. And I haven't brought myself to watch that yet because I think I would feel so bad for the person. But that exists. You know what I mean? We've seen conjoined twins. I mean, conjoined twins are a real thing. 2 human bodies that the eggs didn't split properly or whatever. And so 2 bodies are kind of joined together. When I was a kid, there was a show called Ripley's Believe It or Not, where one of the eggs in utero of a guy, the egg didn't fully form, and this guy had basically a second operating face on the side of his head, and that was a pretty sad. I mean, to me, I always have a lot of sadness for these people that are going through this, because it must be terribly tough to live like that, I would think, you know.
It would have to be. It really would. And I get what you're saying about that, and I totally agree. But by the same token, people like P.T. Barnum and other circus promoters have afforded these people the opportunity to make an actual living, you know, making money. But I get where you're going with that. Go ahead, Mikey.
Well, my point of playing that angle a little bit is, if you believe in all that stuff, the conjoined twins, the guy with the second face on his head, the man with two, if you believe it because it's true, because you can see documentary footage of these things, why can't you make the jump to soul replacement? Or I'll give you another one. If people believe in evolution, or they believe in dinosaurs, or they believe in the Big Bang Theory, that stuff is pretty far out there if you never thought of it before. So why couldn't you believe in soul replacement? That's my point on that.
Can I tell you something, Mikey? It's no different than believing in God. Let's be honest about something.
Sure.
It's real hard to believe, you know, when you talk about God and faith, it's hard to believe in an invisible being in the sky that you can't see,
right?
Can't really talk to, can't really hear. Other than the fact that we know that there was a real person that existed named Jesus, that's about all we know. But it's hard to prove the existence of God, like it's hard to prove the existence of reincarnation, which I think is much more plausible, because we know that people come back. I'll give you a great example. Right now in China, there's a 7-year-old girl that plays no less than 51 instruments.
Wow.
With not a lick of musical training ever, does not know how to read music, doesn't know where she got this gift from. Her parents are flabbergasted that she's even musical, because neither one of them are. In fact, they have no interest in music. The mother doesn't even like music.
Right.
But here her daughter is born with this incredible gift to replicate music on any instrument, and she doesn't even read music, the kid.
Yeah.
And she's 7, and she's been like this since she was 4.
Right.
You have to ask yourself, where does that come from? Is it, you know, spiritual? Like some Catholics believe in this thing called spiritual transference. You could call it reincarnation if you want, and call it whatever you want. But every theology, every philosophy, every sociological religiosity, I'll use that word, has something similar. Without getting too much down that fucking rabbit hole, which I'm not going to do, because that's a whole nother show.
Right.
But to look at the video that we just saw, and by the way, and we saw it started out with Jim Carrey. I want everyone to know that Jim Carrey himself paid for that parody. He paid for that. He produced it and starred in it. Right. And yes, that's the real Jim Carrey. Gina Davis, how you get Selena Gomez out of Gina Davis is one that I'm still I'll get it right, Mikey. Head scratcher on.
Well, I think
I want to know, like, because Gina Davis is what, like 70?
Right, but she's still alive, and I just saw her name on a poster for another film coming out soon. So the point with Gina Davis is, if she has overtaken Selena Gomez's body, how is she also still in her original body at the same time?
There you go. There goes my head scratching there, brother.
Right.
That's what it's much easier for me to believe that if, God forbid, something actually happened to Selena Gomez,
Right.
And by the way, Gomez is not even her real name. Neither is Selena.
Okay.
Her real name is Anna Maria Cucciolata. Cucciolata. She's actually Italian.
Okay.
Anna Maria Cucciolata. I believe that I could be wrong, but she's Italian.
All right.
And because I did a bunch of research, and I'm probably jumbling names. Check it out, Mikey.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez, real name. The other thing is, it's much easier for me to believe that she was replaced or repackaged, in the event of some catastrophe, because she's got one of those faces that's kind of like every day. She's a pretty girl,
right?
But there's nothing outstanding about her. I run into people all the time that look like her. All the time.
Right.
But you have to ask yourself, okay, well, they're making such a big deal of Selena. Well, what's the deal with Selena? Well, let's dissect it. I'll play devil's advocate for a minute, right? Selena Gomez has lupus.
Sure.
She's got other undisclosed medical conditions that affect her weight, her facial puffiness and or thinness at any given time.
Okay.
She gains weight and loses weight rapidly. That, according to her and her family.
Right.
Again, we do research here, folks, so you can check. Please check everything out. The whole clone thing, we covered that on another show, and I don't want to like dwell on it because I don't really believe much about her being cloned. I think with Selena Gomez, for all intents and purposes,
yeah,
in my opinion, Mikey, this is just my opinion, I think it's more physiological and medical than anything, nefarious.
Right.
That's just me. The idea of, and you heard it in the clip, of somebody say that and they made references to the Bible, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole either.
Yeah.
To me, this is not spiritual. To me, this is not biblical. It is. Is it odd? Yeah. Is it weird? Yeah. Is it explainable? Almost all of it. It's that 1% or that 0.5% that's not explainable that I want to know about.
Right.
Forget the 99.5% that we do know about. Give me that 0.5% we don't know about, and let me dig into that.
Yeah.
Let Mike Messier and the Mad Dog, tear that motherfucker apart. That's what I want to do. That's what I want.
Right.
The guy said cloning is, and I quote, the cover story for what's really going on, and he called it passing through the fire. I heard twice in that video references to human sacrifice, references to reincarnation and or soul transference, the transplanting the soul.
Right.
Which we know can happen. That much we know. And that's not physiological, that's spiritual, because that happens whenever someone accepts or rejects either something spiritual or religious, whether someone converts to Christianity or Satanism or whatever. You have a renewance of the spirit. Well, that's your soul.
Right.
Call it what you want to call it. But everybody goes through that, that are seeking higher knowledge. I did myself. I went through that.
Right.
And found out that most of it was all horse shit.
Okay.
Okay. And when we die, you'll probably become worm food. Not to say that there's nothing out there. I'm sure there is. I haven't found it yet, but I'm sure it's out there. Although I do believe, and I'm not going to say I haven't found it, I do believe that there is a higher power,
Okay.
a higher sense of self. I'll call it that. The self Godhead. I'll call it that.
All right.
But do I believe for one moment that that I was reincarnated from someone else? If I was, they had a miserable life. I'll tell you. But I'll tell you what, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for the proverbial pot at the end of the rainbow, there, brother.
Isn't there some type of rule or thought that energy must go somewhere? Like,
yeah, I used to say, and I still say this, Mike, and thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, because that's excellent. Excellent point. Energy does go somewhere. Where it goes, how it gets there, that's the mystery. I always say, and I still say it because I do psychic readings, so I know that there's something out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know where I get my gift from. I like to believe it's from a higher authority. I am hesitant to call that God, because I don't know who or what God is. I will be candid about that. I don't know who or what God is, but I know that there is a higher authority than Mad Dog DeCipio.
Sure.
And I know this because the knowledge I do have, which is substantial, I did not get on my own. I didn't get any of this on my own. So it came from somewhere.
Right.
Other energy transferring into me, that whatever, hey, that's cool too. But I don't know how much I want to put into that whole ritualistic aspect of it without going down a really mighty deep rabbit hole, Mikey, because it can get deep quick.
Well, there's been these accusations for 10 or 15 years of, what was it, the Bohemian Grove, and didn't Alex Jones make his initial mark by doing a lot of research and making a documentary on some cult stuff? And to, in full disclosure, Angelo, about 13 years ago, I was exposed to a cult. I was shown in live before my very eyes a cult in action, and it's scary. And the way that the cult that I saw, the way that they used the groupthink was powerful, and they wrapped it in a bow of Christianity, which was fraudulent. They weren't real Christians, or at least in this situation, they weren't. And I was a witness to it, and basically thinking, this is like watching a movie. Like this is like watching a scary movie, but it wasn't a movie. I was walking around in live time with these people. So my point is, when I experienced that, and then shortly thereafter, there was the TV show, the Going Clear, the Scientology documentary, and the actress Leanna Remy, if I'm saying her name right, who was on The King of Queens. Yeah, yep. She basically escaped from the Scientologists, and she was on a mission for several years to get as many people out of Scientology as she could by basically, as the kids say, being very transparent and talking openly about the horrible situation she was in. She would address, why would someone like John Travolta again and Tom Cruise, like why would they allow themselves to be in this Scientology organization? And other people might have watched that Scientology documentary stuff and scoffed at it and said, how can people be so dumb, or this is crazy, or how could people fall for this? But as I said, Angelo, I was in live time witnessing a cult for a few days, and I saw it can work, meaning that the cults are more powerful, or we as human beings are more vulnerable than we'd like to believe.
Mike, I absolutely concur with you 1000%. I will tell you that I was raised in a cult. It's called the Catholic Church.
Right.
To the point where I was so screwed up religiously, and I don't like that word at all, but I have to use it for this context. I was so screwed up religiously that I spent the entire rest of my life, even up until now, including today, looking for the real answers. And I have to yet find the real answers, because every man, every human being has their own opinion on what those real answers are.
Right.
And I knew this conversation was going to go into a rabbit hole. I just knew it, brother.
Yeah.
It's just because that's what it is. It is a rabbit hole that takes you down. A few years ago, Mikey, Avril Lavigne was the subject of the replacement theory.
Right.
Ariana Grande, most recently, and an interesting one, Kanye West. Now, you saw that video. There was a man sitting on a bench who looked homeless.
Right.
They say that that's actually Kanye West.
Okay.
That he is completely gone mentally. That the person we're looking at, in fact, that's a great segue to bring this in, Mikey. So why don't we check this out?
All right.
And then you tell me what you think. Okay, and this is I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna just put this here. Let's take this off the screen for just a second, because I look like, there you go. I was blocking those out. But that's Jim Carrey, by the way. That's the real Jim Carrey.
Right.
This is, and let's clarify everything, because we need to do this. It's been revealed now conclusively, without conjecture, that Alexis Stone, the renowned makeup artist and vocal impersonator, did in fact appear in Paris as Jim Carrey, accepted an award on his behalf, while the real Jim Carrey was out making a movie.
Okay.
Yes, you heard me say that. He's making a movie. There's another Jim Carrey movie coming out. I promise you. But take a look at this stuff. And Mikey, you're a pretty good actor. You know what makeup can do. You look at that guy. Everything seems off about him, right?
The image on the left is Jim Carrey as we know him, although he looks a little bit like Donny Osmond too. And then on the right, I'm not sure who is that supposed to be Jim Carrey?
Yeah, that's Alexis Stone. That's the gentleman that you just saw in that previous photo.
And that's him in costume as
and
Carrey?
That's Jim. Yep, that's Jim Carrey and Alexis Stone side by side.
Okay.
Okay. Jim Carrey apparently wanted to be in Paris to accept the award, but his contract for this movie would not let him leave the country. He had to be here to film.
Right.
So he called up his friend, who happens to do a passable impression of him.
Right.
But his friend Alexis Stone, who is a renowned makeup artist, came up with this little ditty right there. That's
Right.
Alexis Stone. And that's the mask he created. Okay. And that's the real Jim Carrey today in 2026. That was taken in Vienna, Austria, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. The idea that celebrities have been replaced or repackaged, what about just people looking like other people, Mikey?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier when we watched the first round of videos, which is the cynic in me kind of goes to that. How many facial structures are there? How many genetics are there? And another thing is, if we're looking at something like Keira Knightley and Natalie Portman, I remember the first couple of times I saw Keira Knightley, I thought she was Natalie Portman. I thought it was the same person.
Right.
And I guess there's a thought for me, which is if we're talking about Hollywood people, and there's certain, a nice jawline or a well-structured cheekbone, some of these facial things that are what we typically see in our leading men and leading women, or in the Zooey Deschanel, Katy Perry case, like a Cupid doll, cutesy girl face. Some of those attributes are put in high regard, put on high prestige. And so wouldn't it make sense that there would be more than one person, like a Margot Robbie and a Jamie Presley, who look very similar to each other? If their attributes are in high demand and you have two of them, why wouldn't both of them get work, is my point. So a guy like Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Heath Ledger, they're both, good-looking guys who kind of have like a surfer type of look or aloofness to them. But if they're both in high regard, if that's a look that's going to get a role, why wouldn't both be active, is my point.
I am right with you on that. In fact, I believe that the reason that certain people with certain looks get into the business is just for that reason, because they look like someone famous. That will get you certainly in the door, but your talent has to carry you the rest of the way through. The most striking example I see there, and I've seen both of these people on film and in different projects, are Dakota Fanning and Amanda Seyfried.
Sure.
They could literally pass for twin sisters. They look and they look even more alike when they're next to each other. Yeah. And I've actually seen them next to each other, and you'd be hard pressed to tell me which one was which.
Right.
I'll tell you that. I've actually seen them stand next to each other, and I'll tell you what, man. As I said, you'll be very, very hard pressed. They look so similar, it's scary. That's probably, in my opinion, the most prolific of that group.
Well, once again, in that particular case, it's a pale, thin, blonde woman with some decent curves as well. So why wouldn't there be more than one that would be accepted or promoted in Hollywood?
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I'm with you absolutely 1,000%. This is an interesting one. This here is really, really interesting because the photos that you're looking at are current day celebrities with individuals from a minimum of 75 years ago. Minimum. And a lot of these pictures are over 100 years old.
Okay.
The one that you see where with Steve Carell, in the upper left-hand corner, and his doppelganger from history. You're looking at, I think that might be Jennifer Garner, I believe, and she is with. That's Elizabeth Taylor.
It's Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I say Jennifer Garner. I'm sorry. Wrong Jennifer. Heath Ledger. No, I'm sorry. Justin Timberlake.
Right.
In that upper right-hand corner with a very strikingly similar looking guy from at least 100 years ago. Once again, here you go. Nicolas Cage with somebody that's identical, that like in almost in every way, shape, and form. The ears, the nose, the mouth. The only difference is the gentleman that picture has a mustache, and Nicholas in that photo does not, but they're dead ringers. Speaking of which, Johnny Depp and his historical doppelganger. By the way, would you venture a guess, Mikey, who that doppelganger with Johnny Depp is?
Is he one of the guys from the band Sparks?
No, I don't know who that is.
There's a band called Sparks, which the guy with the thin mustache looks a little bit like. Or a lot like. Yeah. Well, who is he? Who is he in the picture?
His name is Robert Oppenheimer. He invented the atomic bomb.
That's funny.
Yep, his name is Robert Oppenheimer. He's the guy who invented the atomic bomb.
Too bad Depp's career wasn't doing better when they were casting for that film. He could have.
Yeah, and he was the guy that got the role was Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
Played Oppenheimer I believe in that film.
He actually. Yeah, I think Downey was in the film, but he didn't play Oppenheimer. That was.
He didn't play Oppenheimer. I thought he was. Oh, but he. I was right though. But he was in it, right?
He's in the movie, but he wasn't Oppenheimer.
Oh,
right.
okay. I thought. Okay. Well, hey, I'm surprised I got that part. I know he was in the movie for sure. The guy that you see next to Eddie Murphy. Okay.
Yeah.
Scary, because this guy is actually a part of history that we've done a show about. Okay, well, where we at? Pull that back up. What the hell happened to that one? Our video.
I might have pushed it by mistake.
Oh, was that you? Okay.
I might have pushed that by mistake. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me go back where we were. Let me see some hip. Oh, there you go. We're going to bring. There you go. This is where we are. The guy next to Eddie Murphy, his name is Robert Johnson. Does that name sound familiar to you?
I believe that's the guy that sold his soul to the devil for guitar playing. Is that right?
That is the man. That is an actual picture of Robert Johnson. He met the devil at the crossroads, they say.
Right.
Sold his soul to the devil, and the devil said, Robert Johnson, you are going to play like no other man played the guitar, and he did, right up until the day that he was shot at the age of 27.
Right.
And he is the first member that we know of the now infamous 27 Club.
Wow.
Leonardo DiCaprio is there in the lower left-hand corner. And the person that's Leo's doppelganger is actually an interesting character. That's not a boy, by the way. That's a girl.
Okay.
That is Amelia Earhart at the age of 14.
Wow.
Okay. You get where we're going here. They all have a connection, some kind of connection to history.
Sure.
Okay. Matthew McConaughey. An amazing actor, one of my favorite actors. Next to a guy clearly from the Old West, clearly from the frontier. His name, and he was portrayed in the television series Deadwood by Ian McShane. His name is Al Swearingen.
Okay.
He was an actual real-life barkeeper in Deadwood, South Dakota, and he remarkably resembles Matthew McConaughey. Now, the last one is the only one we were not able to get verification on, other than we know that's Orlando Bloom, but we do not know who his doppelganger is, other than he looks amazingly like him, even to the hair.
Right.
Well, I wasn't able to get a clear hit on him, so I had to defer and say he's a guy that looks remarkably like Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
But clearly, again, like everybody else in these pictures, Mikey, he's got some connection to history. We just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Let me see here. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I like this.
This is an interesting one. Hold on. I don't know why it keeps. Oh, by the way, why it keeps slipping back there, Mikey? I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Oh, here we go. So this is Selena Gomez. Okay, we're talking about her for a couple minutes.
Right.
2017. Now she's a young lady these days. I don't think she's 40 yet. She might be. Maybe I'm guessing, Mikey, probably 32, 33, maybe somewhere around there.
I'll look it up.
Okay. but
She was born in 92.
okay. Okay, so she's born in 92, so she's what? She's got to be, what's that, like 30 something, right?
Yeah, she's like 33. Yeah.
Okay, so I was in the ballpark, 32, 33. All right. So at the time the picture's taken in 2017, so she's maybe what, like 20, 21 years old, something like that, right?
Right.
Okay. Fast forward to 2026. People do change dramatically during this period in their life, going from their teens into the young adulthood, into that more mature look that we take on.
Right.
Despite the fact that there are people who swear that she is a replaced individual, I can't see it. If I'm missing something, Mikey, please tell me. Because what I'm seeing is a natural progression of one's age. Even her facial structure is identical. It's the same.
I want to acknowledge El Rufian 163's comment. I don't know if you can put that on the screen.
Oh, Ruffian. Yeah, Ruffian's here. He's one of our regulars, Mikey.
El Ruffian says, I think it's just the genetic lottery repeating the sequence. I've seen so many people from different places but share similar facial features. To El Rufian's point, there was a documentary on YouTube about this internet database of people looking for their genetic clone, like they're not a literal clone, but a doppelganger, basically. And there's these groups that if you put yourself in the database, your face, if anyone comes up that matches up as a doppelganger, they will connect you to your doppelganger. And there's been some really fascinating stories of people meeting their doppelganger, and they were about the same age. Both people married spouses with a similar or the same name. They had a similar breakdown as far as the children they had, the jobs they had. So it's a fascinating subtopic or a parallel topic to this one. And the doppelganger stuff, which once again, I'm not making this up. You could look on YouTube and find it. I think it was from the British BBC or the British or the Australian 2020, something like that I watched. But to El Rufian's point, I think anytime we examine stuff like this, Angelo, that's why I keep an open mind to both ways. I try to keep an open mind to all the possibilities of conspiracy and also just weirdness. I mean, like I said, I always go back to the dinosaurs. If we're supposed to believe that these giant lizards roam the earth and breathe fire at each other, why do people believe in dinosaurs but they don't believe in dragons? What's the difference? The fire? I mean, you know what I mean? So if we're going to believe in all that stuff, why don't we believe in some of this?
I actually know the answer to that, believe it or not. And the only reason I do is because I did painstaking research into mythology, which I'm big. I'm like a mythology nerd.
Okay.
The whole dragon and the fire breathing thing, that came from the fact that dragons, which I believe were real creatures, dragons, when they would exhale a breath, would almost always be like vaporous. Something in their lungs caused their breath to be visible. The whole fire thing, I don't know where that came from, but I could see someone mistaking that. So I'll give you a perfect example, Mikey. You go outside in the wintertime and go, and you'll see your breath.
Yeah.
Imagine being born with that ability.
Right.
And that was the dragon.
Okay.
And again, I fervently believe that dragons were real.
All right.
I also believe, based on history and mythology, that dinosaurs were also real creatures. I know that because here in New Jersey about 30 years ago, they excavated what turned out to be a 45-foot, basically, I'm going to call it a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but this the quintessential, the prototype, the dinosaur with the big body, the long neck,
Right.
The Jurassic Park dinosaur, for lack of a better terminology.
Yeah.
I'm not really into dinosaur mythology, although I loved every one of the Jurassic movies. They are one of my favorites. So I mean, yeah, I can see. I can, and I'll keep an open mind to it, but I can see the people who say, "Oh, maybe she was replaced." Okay, I'll give you a pass on that one, you guys. To me, it looks just like a normal young lady going through the maturing process. Now,
I want to make two points if I could. El Rufian once again says, would this possibly also play in with the zodiac signs, which I think is a really good question. And
absolutely, I believe that.
Well, to that end, I've about 10 years ago, El Rufian and Angelo and everyone listening, I heard that there was a 13th astrological sign. And I didn't know what it was, but then it turns out that I'm in it because my December 5th birthday is in the new sign. So there was always 12 signs for as long as I was alive.
Yeah.
But now, according to some, there's 13. And the Ophiuchus is the 13th sign between the Scorpio and the Sagittarius. And the dates have slightly shifted. So a lot of people who are big astrological people, some of them don't even know about this 13th sign thing. And I'll tell them, and they'll get kind of upset because their whole life they were subscribing to one sign and looking at their sign. And if it turns out I wasn't a Scorpio all along, I was this other thing, or I wasn't.
Well, it's interesting you say it. Now, what are they calling it, Mikey? What are the name they get?
Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus, got it.
And that is if you look up so the 13th sign is November 29th through December 17th, known as the serpent bearer. This sign lies between Scorpio and Sagittarius and is recognized in modern interpretations of the zodiac. So people who their whole life have gone with the 12 signs, if you throw this 13th sign at them, you can watch them kind of crumble in live time because they get kind of upset about it.
Interesting. It's funny because my we know that the that Earth shifted on its tilt there for a little bit. There's Ruff. Ruff says, the original was 28 days. You're absolutely right. See, I know a little bit about that.
So this 13th sign goes with the 28-day monthly calendar, I guess.
Yeah. See, now mine started out July 10th. I was a Cancer.
Right.
But now, because of the shift of everything, I'm a Cancer with what they call something rising. What do they call that?
Scorpio rising.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That's it. A Cancer with zodiac rising. Because my timeline now, which was dead center July 10th, is now on what they call the cusp.
Right.
Brother, I was born on the fucking cusp. Let's check this out. Here's another guy that they say actually died. This is Jamie Foxx, the guy famously played Ray Charles in a hell of a movie he played, which was called Ray.
Right.
If you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. But which one of these two people played Ray? Was it the gentleman on the left or the gentleman on the right?
Looks like the one on the left to me, on facing me left.
And that's the one they say is the clone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They say the real Jamie Foxx is the fella on the right.
Huh.
Yeah. I saw a Netflix stand-up special recently. First, and I'll call it the first one I've seen in a while, but it's the first Jamie Foxx stand-up routine he supposedly did in some 10 or 12 years, right?
Right.
And then I went back and I looked at Jamie Foxx doing stand-up on YouTube. And I have to tell you, Mike Messier, gotta tell you, they look like two different people to me.
Right.
They really, really do. Again, I'm going to keep an open mind. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it's the setting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables that maybe. But, and maybe it's just not him. I don't want to say for certain whether I believe he to be replaced or dead. Certainly don't wish that on anyone. But I will tell you, it's compelling to watch these two side-by-side stand-up routines. It's very compelling.
Yeah, I do remember he was close to death, and there was a lot of concern about his health, and then he did make a comeback, and yeah, all that stuff gives you time to pause and wonder, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes just them like. Here's an interesting one. Oh, hold on. That was me. Hold on, folks. I'm playing around with my buttons over here, folks. That's me.
Sure.
These three young ladies, they could be triplets. But despite the fact that they look alike, they are three separate individuals. They all happen to look remarkably similar. Again, I think this is part and parcel of why they are well known.
Right.
You know, Mike, you're an actor. Producers and directors look for a certain look, a certain what they call type, a certain personality. They're looking for a certain physical characteristics.
Yeah,
Well,
high cheekbones is attractive in females for acting. It plays well on camera. And
sure.
Traditionally, thinner women typically get the leading roles, and a heavier woman like a Maureen McCarthy would get the comic relief role. And same thing with men, actually. Rob Lowe or Tom Cruise will get your leading man, and your Chris Farley or your John Belushi would get the supporting comedic, you know. So there are these kind of stereotypes or these boxes that they typically try to put people in.
Yeah. Yeah, did they you know, do they make the check mark, you know?
Right.
So you've got Missy, you got Jennifer, and you got Hillary. That's it's to me it's remarkable how much Hillary Swank and Missy, how do you say her last name again, Mikey?
Missy Peregrine? I'm not even familiar with her really.
Yeah. She's done a couple of those Marvel pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been in a couple, but they look like bookends with the Jennifer Garner in the middle of it. But if you look at them in total, they look like they could all be related to each other.
Yeah, but I would always be able to tell Gardner from Swank. I think Gardner has more of a, for lack of a better term, more of a typically feminine face. Swank looks like someone who boxes, you know, because she did that boxing movie. But Swank is very attractive in her own right, but she has more of a Linda Hamilton kind of badass appeal to her, to me.
Yeah. She's got kind of more of a tomboy. She did that. The first thing I ever saw her in was called Boys Don't Cry.
Right.
That one, and of course the Clint Eastwood directed film $1 Million Baby. But they were all kind of like, you know,
tough guy,
you know,
tough woman.
tough chicks, for sure. The next one is an interesting one because he's a guy that a lot of people look like these days, including a fella named Palm Beach Pete, not too terribly far from you, Mike Messier.
Okay.
There in Florida. This is Jeffrey Epstein, who looks remarkably like President Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill.
Which is the namesake of Jacksonville, Florida, where I live. Not that this is a good connotation, this meme, but yeah, that's the case.
Right? What say you? Was he Jeffrey Epstein was a time traveler, or is he just happened to look remarkably like President Andrew Jackson.
Well, Andrew Jackson, before Trump, was probably the most controversial, split people down the middle with their opinions violently for or great loyalty towards, because Jackson was also a guy who went against the grain and had many detractors, but enough people liked him that he was president for a while. So the fact that it's Jackson and Epstein, who was in the company of Trump one way or the other, however that went down, but that is an interesting thing there. That's for sure.
It certainly is. This gentleman,
right?
Again, the diehard fans are claiming that the guy that you're looking at, who appears to be homeless, they're saying this is the real Kanye West, and that he has literally lost his mind.
Right.
If you, and I can make the argument for this as well, because I've seen, both before and after videos that appear to show two really different dichotomies of the same personality. And you got to ask yourself the question, it begs the question, what happened? But more importantly, Mikey, not just what happened, but how.
Right.
Because if you believe the narrative, and I've seen this stuff myself, Kanye West was always a controversial figure.
Right.
Saying things that would raise attention, sometimes raise awareness, but would always get a response for sure.
Sure.
Okay. But the Kanye we're seeing now, and I hate to use, a quote from George Herbert Walker Bush, but he is a kinder, gentler Kanye that we're seeing now. Not controversial at all, falling in line with the status quo. He's not the Kanye of the Hellraiser days, for certain. And it does make you question, like, who is this guy?
Well, it wasn't that long ago, maybe a year or two ago. Maybe one of our viewers could let us know in the comments, but yeah, whoever the Kanye is now had a song titled Hail Hitler, I believe. And if you listen to the actual lyrics of the song, it was a little bit more about being crucified as an artist, that Kanye felt that he was being taken out of context, or sometimes maybe even he's pushing the boundaries too far and so forth. But I mean, I don't know, because he had the whole bodysuit with the leather mask on his face a few years ago. And he had the interesting relationship with Kim Kardashian. And apparently the actor Pete Davidson was dating Kim Kardashian, which was Kanye's estranged wife. And I think the rumor was that Pete Davidson actually got tattoos of Kanye's children on his own body, on Pete Davidson's body, which is kind of bizarre to have another man's children's faces tattooed on your body. It's kind of a weird move, if that's what
it certainly is.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a weird thing with, I've never really sat there and listened to a Kanye West album. I guess I'm in the minority, but for whatever reason, I just never found myself putting on a CD of Kanye West and grooving out for an hour and a half to it.
Mikey, it's hard for me to see you grooving down to anything, brother. You're so laid back. Mike, let me ask you a question. And this is kind of like, it's tongue in cheek, but it's more serious. Is this a Kanye thing, or is this a Hollywood thing? This what we're dealing with, this these doppelgangers, lookalikes, replacement. Is this really just kind of like the way of the world in Hollywood? Because were it not for Hollywood, most of these people are celebrities. Think about something.
Right.
Almost all of them are celebrities, actors, performers, artists of some sort. Okay.
Yeah.
And rarely does any mention ever get brought up or the subject ever get broached other than when a celebrity or a person of that high stature is mentioned. And then when they do get mentioned, all of this stuff comes out. Oh, well, they're not the same person. Oh, it's a lookalike. Oh, they've been cloned. Oh, that person, Jamie Foxx died, and John Travolta died in a plane crash, and this is not John Travolta. Listen to his voice; he sounds different, and blah 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 blah. I mean, am I making too much of it, or what? Like,
well, when you were talking, it came to mind. There was a few things, even in the small state of Rhode Island that I'm in. About 10 years ago, I directed a film titled Blood Sugar Sedace. One of the lead actresses had a very nice look to her. And I happened to be in a public library, in Rhode Island. And there was a woman that came into the library with her young child. And I was 99% sure it was my friend, the actress. And I'm looking at her, but she had this kid with her. And I knew that my actress had two kids, but this wasn't the same kid. So I later on asked my actress friend, hey, were you in the library with some kid? And she said, no, that wasn't me. And I said, I guess I saw your doppelganger, because it was. And I've had people come up to me, Angelo, several times and say, I look just like this guy, or I look just like someone they know, and so forth. And I don't think you necessarily have to be a celebrity to have a doppelganger. I refer once again to that video I told you about on YouTube somewhere. But I think as far as the cloning, the soul replacement, I go back to that theory of predictive programming with the movie Get Out. I mean, if the movie Get Out was trying to tell us something about, soul replacement or crossing through the fire, that would be in line with that Gina Davis theory on Selena Gomez, except Gina Davis is still walking around as Gina Davis as well. So how could she be both? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's a head scratcher, and you got to say to yourself, okay, there's some credibility. Oh, by the way, just so you know, let's go back here for just a second. Right. This is the statement here that Kanye West makes a bizarre return to X with clone jokes. Sure. Now, again, and I wanted to talk about that again. Is it tongue in cheek? Is he self-deprecating at this point? Making fun of himself, or is he trying to tell people something? They're looking here at two different individuals. Apparently, I can make the case for them being, clone, so-called, and I hate that term, clone or the real Kanye. But then again, you're looking at a picture that's taken from different angles. Right. In one photo, he's clean shaven, and the other, he has a mustache and goatee. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm torn on this one, because to me, it's just a matter of perspective. Well, it's forced perspective to me.
Right. There's another couple of cases that come to mind, and El Rufian chimes in with, I'm a greatest of all time in both standard and Chinese restaurant placemat zodiac signs. He's talking about the year of the bull, the year of the dragon, which I think that's funny as well. But I would say that I think of two things. Barry Bonds, the baseball player, I believe I'm thinking of the right guy. He had an amazing transformation, which most people allege would come from steroid use. Like even his skull got bigger. And Dave Chappelle, the comedian, there's been a running controversy or a running claim from some of his fans or some of the people online that is that the real Dave Chappelle? Was he replaced?
I don't believe it to be.
Right.
I don't believe that to be Dave Chappelle for a couple of reasons. Number one, I actually met Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
And the guy that I saw on Netflix, and I've seen on other specials, appears to me to be taller, has a much deeper resonance in his voice. His eyes are completely different.
Right.
And I don't think it's the guy I met.
Okay.
And I met this guy in Atlantic City.
Right.
After a show. So, and I was standing right next to him. And I'm 5'3". I'm not a tall guy. And he was maybe 5'8". But the guy I saw in that Netflix special, he was every bit of like over 6 foot.
Right.
He was a minimum. I gotta say 6'2", easy.
Yeah.
You know, a much bigger guy. But you know, who's to believe? You know, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's not him.
The one that
we call this the many faces of Kanye. What do you think about this, Mikey?
Well, I think there's also a thing where weight, you know, sometimes guys in their late teens to early 20s are thin. And then as they get a little bit older, either through weightlifting, they get bulkier, and muscle and fat are a weird thing because sometimes they work well together and sometimes they don't, you know. Also, there's an expression I'm sure everyone's heard, black don't crack, which is the expression that, you know,
black don't crack.
African American people don't age as roughly as white people do or other races do or whatever. To me, I'm not a huge fan of Kanye. Like I don't feel one way or the other about him or his music. But the one that you got me earlier on was the Taylor Swift thing, where is Taylor Swift a clone? And they had this kind of obscure TV commercial young woman from the 80s. And she did look like a ringer for Taylor Swift, or Taylor Swift looked like a ringer for her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, Taylor Swift is, you know, as the kids would say, a pretty basic woman. Like she's a thin, wispy white woman. So I mean, it's not that she's got that unique characteristics either.
It's interesting that you said that. Let's just let's watch this again with Selena Gomez. We're going to get past that. Let's just run past this one because I think we've had enough of Selena Gomez tonight, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But we got something coming up I think you can be very interested in. Given the fact that you're talking about Taylor Swift, here you go. Here you go. Theory goes that Taylor Swift is the daughter of former Church of Satan leader Zana Shrek, the daughter of Anton LaVey, by the way.
Right.
They say, if you believe the story, they say she is Zena Shrek's daughter.
Okay.
Certainly, you know, mothers and daughters can resemble each other. Certainly, you know, Zena Shrek had a cult fan base like her father did. And of course, you know, Taylor Swift, her fans are cult-like too. But let's carry on. Check this out. They're calling this young lady the bad copy. That's not Taylor Swift.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
That's not Taylor Swift. This young lady was discovered on, of all things, TikTok and Instagram. Okay. Someone said to her, boy, you look like a lot like Taylor Swift. And then, of course, the press ran with it.
Right.
Let's just, here you go. Again, Mikey, different women. It's not the same woman. That's Taylor Swift and her lookalike.
Yeah.
You're going to see a picture of her and Taylor together, actually. They did actually finally meet.
Okay.
But it's remarkable how much this young lady looks like. And that, by the way, all those pictures,
yeah,
none of them are Taylor Swift.
That's the lookalike. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Question for you, Mr. Movie Maker. Will the real Taylor Swift please stand up? Which one is she, left or right?
I would say the real one is, I don't think either one's the real one, to be honest with you. I think they're both.
One of them is.
Okay, so I'll go with the one on the right. The one with the phone is the real Taylor Swift.
You'd be wrong about that. The one with the phone is the lookalike.
All right.
The real Taylor Swift is on the left. That picture was taken by her mother.
Okay.
She was 20 years old in that picture, but is the real Taylor Swift right there.
I mean, I go back to, I remember the wrestler Jeff Jarrett claims that his Taylor Swift once babysat for his kids a few times in Nashville. So,
yeah.
Who knows?
Neither of these girls are Taylor Swift.
Okay.
She is the same girl in both pictures.
Right.
Okay. She is actually performing in about 2 months at a theater near my home called the Taylor Swift Experience.
Okay.
She's pretty damn good too. She can sing, she plays the guitar, and she's got, let me tell you something. This theater holds 1,200 people, and they turn them away outside.
Right.
She's really good. I'm going to find out her name for you in a second. This is Taylor Swift. This is the real Taylor.
Right.
Okay. It's just to give you a comparison between the previous picture. There is Taylor Swift and her lookalike. And that's the real Taylor on the right and the lookalike on the left. But they
I thought it was
actually
the other way
met.
around. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Taylor Swift meets her clone at the New York Gala.
Right.
That's the one that Madonna throws every year there at the Met.
Right.
The Metropolitan Gala, they call it. And let me see. And I believe that's the end of that one. So it's interesting though, Mikey. It really is. It's can you make the argument that there are, replacements? You sure could. I believe more so, Mikey, that you can make that argument for replacements and repackaging, to use that word,
Right.
for political and figurehead positions more so than you could for Hollywood, because we've already proven that there are a number of actors and actresses in Hollywood who resemble each other remarkably.
Right.
You saw them, Jennifer Garner, Hilary Swank, Missy Pregram, or however her name is pronounced. A number of people who look at certain. Again, we'll use the show business term types. There's certain types,
right?
That are sought after. The Rob Lowe type, the Brad Pitt type, the Val Kilmer type, And look, let's be honest about it. Val Kilmer and Brad Pitt, when they were younger, looked like brothers.
Sure.
They looked like brothers when they were younger, and even as they got older, for a little bit, until till Val Kilmer, God rest his soul, got sick and passed away. Yeah, but you can make the argument that is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. I believe, however, it's more so plausible, given, the preponderance of political figures who mysteriously die under, crazy circumstances and all of a sudden, are revived from, from the brink of death. They made it, even up to and including the Pope, who, passed away now, but years ago, the Pope supposedly died as a result of a bullet. But, God brought him back.
You're familiar with the Mandela effect there, Angelo? You're familiar with that?
Oh yeah, we're probably going to do that one again.
let me ask you real quick, just on a side parallel note. How would you spell, without Googling it, how would you spell Chick-fil-A, the restaurant? How would you spell the name of the restaurant?
Chick-fil-A is CHIC FILET.
Okay. And is there a dash in there anywhere?
I believe there was on what I saw, and then one had one without a dash. just like Coca-Cola had a dash in the middle, but yet the original Coca-Cola had the dash up top.
Well, until about 3 days ago, if you asked me, I would answer exactly what you did. I would say CHIC dash FIL and maybe even another dash and then ET. But I saw another Mandela Effect YouTube video and they said the Chick-fil-A is back to a K. It's got a K in there. What's going on? And I've driven by 3 or 4 Chick-fil-A's on my road trip, and they've all had the CHICK. A K is in Chick-fil-A now, and to my memory, less than a week ago, it was not. So the K is back in Chick-fil-A.
You know, I can explain that because I did that Mandela Effect show, that and the Matrix. And that's another one we get a lot of requests for. Do the Mandela Effect and the Matrix. I got to check that out while we're looking at the Chick-fil-A, huh?
Well, the story that came out was that CERN, I don't want to take us too far off topic, but just to plant seeds for a future episode, because apparently CERN has been shut down till 2030. And so they were making black holes in CERN, and a lot of people think that CERN is the reason for the Mandela Effect in the first place. So
it absolutely is. I can validate that because I had a guy on the show that worked at CERN.
Right.
Yeah.
So
he was
Chick-fil-A
fired for, the guy, he was almost killed. The guy talked about it. He was almost killed, but they basically said, go, just go. Get out of here and go.
Right.
Say what you want to say, but just get out of here.
Yeah.
They didn't want any more death and any more blood on their hands. Let's put it that way. They've got enough. They got enough blood on their hands.
Yeah.
The Chick-fil-A. I'm looking at it now. CHIC dash FIL dash A. That's one.
Right.
CHICK dash FIL A.
Right.
Okay.
But if you drive by a store now, it's CHICK dash FIL dash A. So the biggest change is the K. To some people, it was there and it left, and to other people, and it came back, and to other people, it was never there, and here it is. So for me, I go to Chick-fil-A my share of times, and I haven't seen the K in there until just recently. And it's like, what's going on here? Where'd this K come from?
And I'm looking at their website, and it sure enough says CHICK.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that we oftentimes I think that we are victims of our own perception.
Right.
We believe in our minds that things are a certain way, and that's how we remember them, and that's how we believe them. But then when the stark reality of truth hits us, and we go, oh, well, maybe I don't know as much as I thought I did.
Yeah.
And we have to start questioning it and see, I think the AI is changing things to test the waters and with people's memories. Stores have been undergoing renovations. It's easy to come, and you know what? He's right. It's easy to come change that in less than 3. You can absolutely change the name of a store in under hours. Especially when you're a company like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's or any number of these big companies, they have the resources. And don't forget, Mikey, they're in every state.
Right.
Every state has sign makers, printers that they got. I'm sure they have accounts all over the world, all over in every state in the country and in every country where they do business. And I don't doubt that for a moment. But to change an entire platform nationwide in a matter of hours, then something had to be afloat for months and months ahead of time and rolled out all at one fell swoop, just like McDonald's does. They do it all the time.
But
They
that's
do it all the time.
Then that would say that not one person at one store caught the Chick-fil-A franchise changing the sign overnight, or not one employee said something. And it's to me, it's fascinating because I clearly remember the Chick-fil-A without the K, and here it is. And so whether it's CERN or a national, what would be the point of them changing the name to add a K business wise, if it's not just to screw with people? Like what's the financial upswing to adding a K if there wasn't a K?
Well, there you go. You just said it. What's the financial upswing? That is the upswing. The answer is in your question. The answer is financial.
Right.
Think about it. Money's the upswing. Money is always the upside of everything.
So the business of Chick-fil-A would be getting paid off by the government in order to run a test on people. Would that be the theory here?
It's very clear that government is in every aspect of our lives and business.
Right.
I want you to think about something. The next time you drive past a Burger King or a McDonald's or a Starbucks, any of those stores, take note of one thing. And I'm going to tell you what to look for. Look for the building. The building will be black and gray. The days of buildings, restaurant buildings, having their own character,
right,
those days are done. Everything is monochromatic now.
Right.
Because the government wants to take away your ability to see color. The world is going to be black and white. Okay? We're going backwards by the leaps and bounds in ways that you don't even know yet. Okay? And part of that answer, part of my explanation now came from AI, because I did some research. We're going to do the Mandela effect again. We're going to do the Matrix again. We're going to do an exhaustive investigation, you and I, Mikey,
all right,
on fast food. McDonald's sells 65 billion burgers a day on average. Billion with a B, okay? I remember when the days when it used to say 6 million served, okay, worldwide. Now it's 65 billion a day, every day.
Right.
Burger King boasts over 50 billion burgers a day. I have a question for you, Mikey.
Sure.
Where are all these cows coming from?
Yeah. Whereas, yeah, that's a lot of cows to supply a lot of burgers, unless
Here's
it's
the problem.
Yeah.
If you, Mikey, brother, I'm gonna tell you, if you take one cow,
right,
if you're able to get, just for argument's sake, if you're able to get 1,000 burgers out of one cow, okay, does anyone? Oh, hold on. When eBay had a yellow background over time, yes, absolutely. Again, everything's changing. Well, I remember a time when, we're talking about the burgers meat. Yeah. I remember when McDonald's, Burger King, and all these burger places came up, it was cows. It was beef. It was real potatoes. It was food. It was fast food, quick food, but it was good food.
right.
In Japan, burgers were tested in Japan. And I'm going to get real, folks, so bear with me. In 150 burgers that they tested in one restaurant, because they thought they made a mistake, and they retested and retested and retested. In one restaurant alone, over 150 burgers came back as being 60% human DNA.
Oh, geez.
Wait a minute, it gets better. Then they went to other restaurants in the Far East, China, Japan, Asia, and found that it's not a fluke. In the Philippines, McDonald's burgers are coming back as cat, rat, dog, all kinds of meat, proteins. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
I said to my wife the other day, you don't want to know how your burger is made. I saw how your burger is made. She says, shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't ruin it for me, Ange. Okay. No problem. We just came back from vacation. There's a little boy that his family we go to vacation with every year. This kid, from the time he was 3 years old, loved McDonald's chicken nuggets. He's 8 years old now, and he still loves McDonald's chicken nuggets. Sure. I said to my wife, if he knew what was in that nugget, she said, shut up. Shut up. She got mad and she said, shut up. Because I'm going to show my audience for the second time what you're eating. Because the show is going to be called, Mikey, Is What You're Eating You?
Okay. Is Solid Green, people?
Yeah, you get ready for it, people. Get ready for it, because we're going to do it. We are going to do a deep investigation into the fast food industry. In England, there are 2 ingredients in French fries in England: potatoes, oil.
Right.
In America, McDonald's French fries have 17 ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess where potato is on the list?
6.
It's number 11.
Wow.
Number 11 in a French fry. Potato is number 11. Think about that. Pringles just lost a federal lawsuit. Pringles can no longer call themselves potato chips because there's not a single potato in Pringles and never have been.
Wow.
Pringles are made out of rice, not potato. Okay? They're good. It's still good. It's right. Rice is good.
Sure.
But it's not a potato chip. It's a rice chip.
Right.
But now Pringles, to try to save their reputation, and you could buy them both now. Pringles and then Pringles potato chips. Okay.
Interesting.
They're called potato-inspired chips. You can't make this shit up. You can't, I promise you.
Right.
Mikey, promote yourself. What do you got going on, kid?
Well, Mike Messier Art. This is one of my Road Warriors prints. You can go to MikeMessier.com and go to shop, and that'll take you to my Spreadshirt shop. And this Road Warriors design, I've got a bunch of new designs of my artwork for sale. Fighter Play Basketball, my novel, is available on Amazon as a audiobook, as a hardcover, paperback, and ebook, and Bad Girls with Good Tattoos. That's available as hardcover, paperback. Yeah, please do. And I think I am. And I'm here in New England. My friends David Gear, film producer, and Tommy DiNucci are hosting me. Here's the Bad Girls with Good Tattoos cover. It's available on a t-shirt. Yeah. So
I can't wait to get that book.
Thank you. So everything's pretty good. Everything's all right.
Very good. We got some stuff over here to talk about. We are WTBR.podbean.com. We have a brand new, our second link tree. Our first is WTBR Radio 88.7. Our second link tree is WTBR Radio, spelled WTBRADIO Radio. It's all part of WTBR. Our main hub is no longer WTBR. No longer WTBRradio.podbean.com. It is now WTBR.podbean.com. We are What's the Buzz Radio. We are now also rolling out our new platform, World Truth Broadcast Radio, also WTBR. So, and I had to use that because I own and we are registered with the federal government. So there you go. And everything you see at the bottom rolling there is all of our legals. We are now 100% completely monetized on YouTube and on WTBR.podbean.com. We are, and we thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are also a part of the worldwide Globecast satellite network. They are in 17 million homes. We are there hiding in their closet. As soon as they find us, they will be turned on to Mikey the Movie Maker Messier and Angelo the Mad Dog DeCipio, and we will again rise and conquer Europe, Mikey. Okay. By the way, we are number 2 right now in New Zealand, and we are number 17 in the top 100 in Italy.
Like our genetic ancestors before we were cloned.
Yeah, right? Yep. And those of you that are texting me what happened to Angelo, yes, I left as a Caucasian. I came back as a Jamaican. To let everybody know, I'm going to show people here what we have available. And just give me a second. Let's pull this up. Take a look at this, folks, and just take a look at what we got. I think it like
8.7 WTBR Radio.
There you go. And we have Mike, I'm going to show you something. We got a couple of new T-shirt designs. I want you to check this out.
Cool.
I want people to share. This is good stuff too, by the way. Where are we at? Oh, here we go. This is it right here. This is one of our T-shirts right here. That's comes on a black shirt.
Yeah.
That's Mikey and the Mad Dog. And the other one is our logo, which is right here.
Nice.
And you'll get a T-shirt with this on it, Mikey and the Mad Dog.
All right.
And we're offering here, Mikey. And I want people to check this out here real quick. We're offering where is the? Where I put it at? I gotta find this, folks. This is what happens when I put stuff and where I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Here's the other one. There you go. That's the other one. It's Mikey and the Mad Dog with the big microphone on it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So let me get this out of here. And again, WTBR.podbean.com. Check out our merch. You can get our coffee mugs. You can reach me if you need to reach me at What's the Buzz Popcast at gmail.com. You can reach Mike the Movie Maker Messier at MikeMessier.com. And we are, where the hell are we here? Let me bring this up for you. You guys, here you go. Hot damn. We are on YouTube.com at What's the Buzz Popcast. We have now no less than 7 YouTube channels. Our main channel has the links to all the other 6. So we are expanding rapidly. We will probably be expanding our StreamYard to accommodate up to 10 live streams at a time. But right now, we're doing great with the 5 that we have. So I'll take it. Mikey, anything else you need to advertise, talk about before we head out of here?
No, I think I'm good. We have a great show tomorrow night, Tuesday, August 11th. And see you guys tomorrow night.
Absolutely. On behalf of Mike, the Movie Maker Messier, I am Mad Dog DeCipio. This is WTBR Radio, 88.7 in Philadelphia. Take care, folks.